Good evening. How are you all? Now, recently, I have been going through certain literature which have emphasized the connection between the gut health and the brain health. So, the researchers have been doing this research since few years, and they have actually given evidence of a connection between the gut and the brain. And if we just see in our daily life also, the lifestyle changes and the type of food the people are eating, especially the youth are eating, like binge eating, more of junk food, more of food cooked outside, more of packaged food, more of deliveries through Zomato and Swiggy, convenience food, we can say, comfort food, we can say, is food that makes us feel good for a moment. So, and then also increasing number of cases of depression, anxiety, then you can say Alzheimer's disease, obesity, type 2 diabetes. It's not that recently something has happened drastically that all this is coming to the forefront. And we are actually are unable to find a question, but actually the answer lies within us also. What is happening nowadays, what is our lifestyle, all this is actually affecting our brain health also and our overall health also. Just a simple thing I would like to, just in a form of a story, try to present before all of you, to give a more broader viewpoint about that. Now I consider Mr. X and I consider Mrs. Y. Mr. X has no craving for sugar. As such, he's not at all, wanting to eat sugar, like he's not at all craving for it. Then, on the other hand, he's active also. He's motivated, he's focused. On the other hand, this Mrs. Y has a craving for sugar. She wants sugary food, she wants to eat sweets, and she always looks around for something sweet. And then she feels dull also, she feels lazy also. She tries to do multitasking, but she gets confused easily. She's not at all feeling healthy in a way. She's not having a big problem or any kind of a disease, but overall something is linked to her eating habits. Okay, we cannot conclude anything, but I'm just differentiating the things. Now Mr. X drinks a lot of water also, takes a lot of fluids also, in the form of buttermilk juices, lime juice, and he eats early at night and eats less also at night, and he sleeps at time also. His routine is fixed, and when he gets up in the morning, he feels energized and feel like waking up. So he feels a lot more healthier than Mrs. Y. And regarding the gut health, he doesn't have much issues. On the other hand, Mrs. Y, she forgets to drink water, and she becomes quite lazy. She just forgets to drink water in a sense, and even she is lazy in making juices for herself. She binge eats many times due to the household chores. She is very late to eat at night, and she has certain gas issues, acidity issues, gut issues are there. And when she gets up in the morning, she doesn't feel like getting up. She feels lethargic, feels like sleeping more, and the sleep is disturbed also. Okay, so this is the story of Mr. X and Mrs. Y. Now, how can we correlate this to what I want to discuss with all of you, that is the gut health and the brain health? Well, as you go through literature, strong evidence suggests that gut microbiota. What is gut microbiota? Basically, what happens is that we have good bacteria in our intestine. It's not that only the stomach is the main part which is going to help us in digestion. We have to take care of our stomach. Mostly layman language, we can say we say that my stomach is upset. It's not the stomach, it's the total digestive system which gets upset when you are not taking care of what you're eating. So what happens is, if you take the stomach, you take the small intestine, large intestine, the pathway through which the food enters the stomach, everything is included in the digestive system. Okay, and digestive system is just not that. That is the esophagus through which the food passes, then the stomach, then the small intestine, large intestine, and then the anus, through which the you can say the feces is excreted. So this is a very complex kind of a system, and in this system we have certain folds inside the you can say the layer of the intestine and the gut, the whole gut, and that is folded in many finger-like projections which increase the surface area for the food to be digested. Then it is lined by some brush-like small thin hair-like structures which give it an appearance of a brush, like the brush which you use to comb your hair. So that is actually to it is having a large number of good bacteria lining it. They are totally, lining the whole membrane, or you can say the inside of the gut, and they are present in all the areas, in the niche also, and in the folds also, everywhere. Now these gut bacteria, when they come in contact with the food which we have eaten, they according to the type of food you are taking, they will release certain kind of chemicals which you can call as neurotransmitters, neuromodulators, or even hormones are released in through the gut lining. Okay, so we have a complex system. We have this interplay of various chemicals coming, the hormones coming when you take food, then the bacteria acting on this. All this is connected to the brain. So basically this is called the enteric nervous system. That is the nervous system, or you can say the nerves supplying the intestine, okay, which is a part of our peripheral nervous system. We have two kinds of system, that is the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system is the brain, spinal cord, nerves connecting the brain, spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system, the nerves connecting the various peripheral organs. These cannot be considered as separate things. They are connected to each other. So we have a kind of a, you can say, bidirectional brain, gut, and microbiome connection, or the gut brain axis, we can say. Okay, that is the GBA we call. Okay, so this kind of axis means that your gut is related to the brain. Then what the brain is sensing and sending signals through hormones or neurotransmitters is coming to the gut, and whatever is going through the gut into the brain, that kind of feeling the brain is sensing, and that kind of hormones and chemicals the brain is going to release. So what you eat reflects how you feel, isn't it? So there's a connection between these things. Okay, now there's a strong evidence that suggests that the gut microbiota has an important role. Gut microbiota means that is the healthy bacteria, the good bacteria which should be there in our intestine, has an important role in bidirectional interactions between the gut and the nervous system, as I was talking about. It interacts with the central nervous system by regulating brain chemistry and influencing neuroendocrine systems associated with stress, anxiety, and memory function also. So all this connection with the brain regulates the chemistry of the brain also. That is, the gut and the brain are connected together, and that will influence our hormones, our neural responses also. Okay, so this is related to how you feel. There are certain foods, healthy habits, okay, which will cause the release of such chemicals from the gut bacteria. For example, you can say like it can be dopamine, it can be serotonin, it can be gamma aminobutyric acid, GABA we call. These are all certain terms which might be not related to some layman language, but this time just for knowledge I'm saying that these chemicals make you feel good, because then they send signals to the brain which is sensed by the brain as a feel good thing. Okay, on the other hand, when you're eating such a food which is difficult to digest, they are not, the microbiomes, or you can say the healthy bacteria, not comfortable with the kind of food they are receiving. They're going to naturally secrete such chemicals which will send signals to the brain which are not comfortable and can cause things like stress, anxiety, depression. So you think you're eating a tasty food, like pizza sounds tasty, something fried is tasty, something sugary is tasty. That time you feel it quite tasty, you like it. But then after eating it, you don't feel good for a long period of time because you have disturbances in your gut, which are sensed by the brain as a not so good feeling. And repeatedly, if you are indulging in such kind of food, it will lead to depression, anxiety, binge eating. You will crave more for such a food also. Brain will actually modulate accordingly, and with that craving you're eating, so vicious cycle takes place. So it's not alarming that the kind of diseases which are coming up are like type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, depression and all. They are very much linked to your gut health.